Welcome back to Squawk Box. We have an update right now on the developing story in Hong Kong, where protests again turning violent over the weekend. Police fired a water cannon and tear gas at protesters who lobbed Molotov cocktails outside of the Hong Kong government complex. The protesters then started fires at a subway station. The violence coming after thousands of pro-democracy supporters marched through downtown in defiance of a police ban. So the violence there continuing, and questions continue about what's going to happen next there.
Also, some new developments in the crackdown on vaping. Yesterday, New York Governor Cuomo announced a ban on all flavored e-cigarettes other than tobacco and menthol. The governor said that he was concerned that fruit and candy flavored e-cigarettes were leading young people to get hooked on nicotine. New York is the second state to introduce a ban like this. Michigan did the same thing earlier this month. The CDC says that nearly 400 people around the country have been stricken with a lung disease that is potentially coming from vaping. 6 of those people have died, and you do see the crackdown coming from the Trump administration as well. I don't know if you guys saw over the weekend, sometimes in some of these vaping situations where it's supposed to be THC that was in it, they found that it was actually synthetic marijuana, and that people were getting high as a result of some of these things, too. And those were bought in retail locations in some stores.
Yeah, I mean, the reporting of this whole thing now is, did you see the latest one? I just read, mom takes one breath, puff. Then one puff, and she's in a coma or something. So I don't know at this point what.
Well, you know,
that doesn't seem possible, does it?
Well, there was a big takeout over the weekend, and sometimes I think it's like $4,000 for marijuana for a kilo of it. They cut it, but the stuff that they cut it with is the problem. Like whether it's the vitamin E or other things that they're putting into it, but it's really incredibly hazardous, and they're trying to increase their profit margins on some of these things, and it can wind up in retail locations at times.
I did see there's an op-ed about. I just saw someone, and I don't want to get into it, but because the pro-cannabis people are very pro-cannabis,
yes,
but just that the point was being made by some opinion writer that he was questioning, or he or she was questioning, whether we should rush headlong into legalizing something that's 50 times more powerful than it was when we think of back in the 70s.
Right.
And is that really something that we just want to just legalize completely?
And as Gottlieb has pointed out, Scott Gottlieb, the former head of the FDA, this is something the states have legalized, but they haven't really taken on the responsibility for oversight and regulating some of these things. There's not a national framework for it right now because of it, and that's the problem you see with this kind of patchwork approach.
Right.
We
all
agree
kinds of
on
things
this.
slip through the cracks.
We kind of do, except that, for years now, it's been readily available. So if you can see that it's already there, is it better to regulate it and tax it? So,
except that in the states where it is regulated and taxed, it's not clear it's even working.
Because I don't think they're regulating it properly.
Well, and that's the second order event question.
Right.
So. Yeah.